In today's video, we're continuing with the 21-day challenge for empaths and highly sensitives. And today I want to talk about boundaries. And boundaries in this case, it's not about them, but it's about you and starting within you and that power inside of you. So day 7 of the 21-day challenge, and I want to talk about these boundaries. Like so often, that's one of the big things that goes along with the empaths and highly sensitives, that it's like, oh, we lack these boundaries. For me, definitely for years, and I didn't even realize that I didn't have certain boundaries set up because I thought I was just easygoing, or I thought that I just, went along with the flow and it was easy to do that for me. But in many ways, I was also then not honoring or seeing what I truly wanted for me, and instead I just went along with the group. And over the years, I actually became more and more independent because I wanted to do my own things. I wanted to be doing my things and not have to go along with the group. But I didn't realize that I could actually set boundaries and I could actually say no to things and still belong with a group and still be with the group. So I want to share a couple stories in this case too of what I mean by it starts within rather than it being about the other people. So recently I was on a trip and I was in this hotel, and there was many tour groups that would come into the hotel, shift and change, and then a day or two later they would leave. And I had just shifted into a new room, and that night there was all kinds of noise outside. Kids were screaming, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then at one point, too, the door between the rooms, someone was like banging on that door that was in between the two rooms. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I felt safe, but it was annoying because it woke me up. And anyway, energetically, I then started to connect with things, and I was like, let's calm things down and let me ground the building, because grounding the building can help ground the people. And I connected with, or was feeling, the energies of the people next door. And it was this clingy, desperate kind of energy of neediness. And I then felt it kind of come at me of like needy, needy, needy. And I was like, whoa, what do I do with this energetically? And energetically in the past, if I put up my boundaries, there's times where I feel like I'm putting up my boundaries, but it's constantly being, like fought against. Like they need something so much that they're kind of breaking down the boundaries. And in myself, I'm kind of like, well, I'm fighting this. It's like my brute force against your brute force. And it becomes very much, I'm better than you kind of, thing. And I realized as I was in this thoughts in my mind and these feelings of energy, I was like, wait a second. I am a strong person and I have strong energies. I have very strong energies. And what I've been doing all this time is I'm letting that other person affect me. And I'm letting their energies affect me. And I'm letting them kind of take my power. Even though they're the one possibly desperately needing, I'm then going, oh, okay, I'll give, let me try. Even though I'm putting up boundaries, I still need to give to you. And it's like, no, I don't need to still give to this neediness, this energy that is wanting from me. And I do have strong energy in myself, and I am a strong person. So I then saw myself, as I realized that I was standing in my own power, I saw like this massive energy person of me, like a supersized version of me energetically. And I was like, yeah, I'm standing in my own power. This is me. This is my strength. And I felt in that moment that I was like, I'm stepping into my power. This is who I am. And those things outside of me, I don't need to let it affect me. Like, I don't need to let it come in. And me being in this place of, oh, I need to take care of you. Oh, I need to help you. I need to do this. I don't need to cater to those things outside of me. Instead, I be in my own power, and I'm not saying that I'm going to be suddenly rude to people. I'm still going to be compassionate. I'm still going to be kind. but I am taking back my power and I'm starting here within me. So when I talk about boundaries, what I mean here is that first stepping into your power and knowing who you are. And one of the things that, like when you read about boundaries, they talk about knowing your values, knowing what you want, knowing your needs. So, like when people do come to you and say, hey, I need help with this, and you're exhausted and you can't even move, but you get up and do it anyway, what your need is in that moment is actually to rest and to get your energy back rather than having to help these other people. And when we end up saying yes and helping these other people, we're not giving to ourselves, we're not stepping into our powers or caring for ourselves in the way that we believe, like, oh, we need to care for others more than we actually care for ourselves. So going back to stepping into your power, it's knowing that you can take care of yourself and giving yourself that and being able to say, no, I can't help because I'm exhausted, because I'm worn out. I need to rest for myself. The person on the other side of that will respect, oh, I see that you have these things, these needs. If they're not respecting it, then they're not listening to your boundaries. They're not listening to you and not respecting you. And if they're not respecting you, then it's like, well, what kind of relationship is this? Do I want this relationship in my life where I'm not respected as well? I actually do want mutually respected relationships. And in this case, if I were to say, I'm exhausted, I'm worn out, I'm tired, and someone were to get mad at me over it and angry that I'm not helping them, I would be like, wait a second. I don't quite understand this relationship here, this dynamic here. So again, bringing it back to stepping into your power and really feeling and knowing what are your needs, but also what is your power. And when I say that what is your power, going back to the story of me at that hotel, I realized in that moment that I was like, oh, I energetically am very strong and confident. And it's these stories that I'm telling myself that's saying, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I need to do for all these other people, when actually I don't need to, and I can hold my own, I can step into my power and know my worth. And know, again, relating back to the person that possibly gets angry that you're saying you're tired, you can't help. If that person got angry, I would say that my worth is worth actually being treated with the respect of, hey, I need this time for myself. So in what areas in your life do you have boundaries or not have boundaries? I know over time for myself, I saw that I had more and more boundaries I was able to set up with work because I respected myself with work, because I saw the worth of what I was giving to them. Where with relationships, I still didn't see it and I didn't believe that I was worthy of being treated a certain way. So again, just notice, and again, you can relate it to your worth and your value and your power inside of you. Like, what is your worth? Who are you? Which, talking about your worth, you can check out my coaching program in the dialog box below. There is a link to the program, and it does go into connecting with your worth, with who you are, and really defining it in yourself, of knowing that who you are and being able to step into this power in yourself. So do check that out again in the link below. So today, for part of the challenge, it is becoming aware of what your boundaries are, where you have them and where you don't have them, and seeing possibly how that does relate to your worth, and how in some areas you might have boundaries set up and then in other areas you don't. So thank you again for joining me today. I am AmyC with You Finding You. And if you are enjoying and getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.